But shout out to, you know what I mean, Amadeus,
Shout out to
shout
him,
out
man.
to, yeah, shout out to his wife, you know what I mean, everybody up there, you know, and serious. And I'll be up there soon, man. Shout out to the whole Punchline Academy. He doing some wonderful things, man, with the artists up there, man. That man deserves his flowers.
All right. So you've been making a lot of moves over the past few months. I know you were on quite a few platforms spitting.
Mhm.
One of the ones that you was on was Punchline Academy, but that footage never came out, right?
But
But you going back on first of all, why did it never come out?
well, I winded up going on a day that, somebody dear to Amadeus, passed. You know what I mean? So I wind up being there, you know, in that day. And he still wanted to go, he still wanted to do it, and we started to do it, but the energy wasn't there. The studio wasn't prepped. And, I told him, I said, yo, I said, anyway, it's best if I just come back because, the mood wasn't there. They just lost somebody great within their family, and it's like, I don't want to say names because I don't know if they want me to say the name, you know what I mean? And I don't want to make this video about that because, he been laid
Right.
to rest and stuff like that. And, a lot of motherfuckers, they like clout chasing with that shit. You feel me?
Right.
So, I mean, the real ones is going to know who I'm talking about. You feel me? But I really don't want to mention his name. May he rest in peace. But somebody, that he worked with really had passed on that day. Like, I was literally in the studio when they received the news. And it was a sad time for them, a sad time for hip hop. And we winded up trying to go through with it, but the energy wasn't there. And we just decided to fall back and come back and do it later, which I'll be back over there soon. You know what I mean? To give the people what they need to hear. You know what I mean? From Big Lou, and we just decided to do it at a later time. But shout out to what I mean, Amadeus.
Shout out to
Shout
him,
out
man.
to, yeah, shout out to his wife. You know what I mean? Everybody up there. You know, um, and serious. And I'll be up there soon, man. Shout out to the whole Punchline Academy. He doing some wonderful things, man, with the artists up there, man. That man deserves his flowers and everything he doing, man. So shout out to Punchline Academy, definitely.
Most definitely, man. Shout out to Punchline Academy. You know, they doing a lot of
Mhm.
just like I feel like keeping the culture alive as far as like
Yeah,
the lyricism goes. You know,
yeah,
it's one of the more popular brands, I would
yeah,
say. You
yeah.
know, and I appreciate that though, man.
Mhm.
Have you
Nah,
ever seen the video of him before he got famous when he was hustling, when he was
yeah,
selling
Nutcracker,
those
Nutcrackers,
drinks?
Nutcrackers. I told him he gotta bring me some. I told him, I said,
Yo,
yo,
he
make
was
sure you bring me
hustling,
some of
bro.
them nutcrackers, boy. Cause he was killing the game with that shit. That's how he started.
Yeah. That's
That's
crazy,
how he
man.
started. Yeah.
So, what other platforms are you trying to go on?
I mean, whoever, calls me, if it makes sense, I'ma do it. You know what I mean? Whoever calls me up and want to have my energy on a show, I'll do it. A lot of people been reaching out to me, and saying that they like the content or whatever. I've been getting a couple, celebrity artists that been hitting me up. Like, yo, I've been watching you, you know what I'm saying? You doing your thing, boom, you know what I mean? And shit. And it's just a good feeling to see artists that's out there just start hitting me up and like, yo, I'm glad to see you back out there doing what you doing. So whoever's gonna have me, you know what I mean? Put it like that. I've been getting a lot of calls from a lot of platforms. Um, Definitely shout out Fendi. You know what I mean? I did the come up and I did the come up. I'm about to do that again.
That was dope.
With the come up, yeah. And he doing some things, with Nicki Minaj. Shout out to Nicki. He does some shit with her. And they got the ball shit that I'm gonna do that shit too. You know what I mean? With the behind ball shit. That's a new platform that they got. And We'll talk more later about that. But shout out to Fendi, all them up there. They always show love. And it's a lot of them, man. There's so many platforms, man, you can't even keep count. But as long as they official and stuff like that, I'll do them. I ain't got no problem doing no platform. As long as they about what it is about. It's music. You know what I mean? To me.
Yeah, I would like to see you on something like Chinatown Sound. I think their platform
Yeah,
is dope. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, yeah, that would be crazy. Just more of
yeah.
the ones where you be like really spitting.
Yeah, I like Chinatown sounds. They dope. I did after hour show too. I did their shit too. Shout out to after hour show. I did dumb. You know what I mean? I went up there and touched that and killed that joint. So yeah, I got a couple joints I did, man, but pretty soon I'm doing a whole lot of platforms, a lot of videos coming out. You know what I mean? So it's just timing, you know what I mean? And the timing is starting to be perfect. So you see a lot of things coming out soon.
For sure, man. For sure.
About time.
Dog in the yard.
Dog in the yard. I think dog in the yard. Shit. Pistol P had me up there. Shit. If he don't let his brother get in the way of that,
You would really go up there?
hell yeah. Why wouldn't I? I'll do dog in the yard. Why not?
That would be pretty crazy though.
Why wouldn't I? I never had no beef with Pistol Pete. You know what I'm saying? I walked through the halls with him when I was with Slay, and even at that time when I was going through my shit with Joe, with Fat Joe, it was always a respect. He would see me with my people. I see him with his. We just look at each other, nod, say what's up, and keep it going. You feel me? You know what I mean? Like I never, I never had nothing to say bad about that man. I don't know that man to talk about. You feel me?
Right.
I never heard him say nothing about me, so I ain't got no problem with that dude.
That's fair.
You know what I
That's
mean?
fair.